2013 marks 75 years of the St. Paul Park Fire Department. St. Paul Park was one of the first departments in Washington County. It covered the area south of Highway 94 down to Hastings to east of the St. Croix River. This department has had a rich history that actually started in 1926, but wasn't officially incorporated by the village until 1938. Former firefighters Randy Zenner, Don Weinberg, China Gary, and Dave Kemp sat down and talked about what it was like being part of the department and what changes occurred throughout the years.
It was all volunteer. I mean, everybody had different jobs, you know. I mean, so we had a lot of craftsmen, so anytime anything needed to be built or fixed, there was somebody on the department or somebody on the department knew somebody that could fix things or build things.
When we started out, we never had radios. We'd get to a fire, and then before we leave, we'd call in on the phone. Also, at that time, all 3 trucks we had only carried about 1,800 gallons. A lot of fires on the country that we'd have to have farmers come in with milk cans and dump into her tank, or a couple of times, you know, Christie, the oil guy in town, he'd come out with his tanker and haul the water for us. So it's a little different today.
Air packs, biggest change, in my opinion. Brought the firefighter into where the fire is rather than shooting water through a window that you broke out.
Well, that and the bunker gear itself, you know, now with the separate pants and coats, it's, you know, it protects you more. Now they have Nomex hoods. Years ago we had flaps on our helmet and your collar on your coat. Make sure you have it all up and tight so the steam and stuff couldn't get at you. I mean, you don't ride on the back of fire trucks anymore. You know, that was a big thing. You don't know how big a deal that is until you're trying to pull your boots and put your coat on as you're going down the street on the back of a fire truck.
And then you drop one boot.
Throughout the years, the fire department had a couple of serious events.
The worst one was in Cottage Grove. We lost a fireman there, Charlie Whitbread Jr. I don't know, was that Applebaums?
Applebaums, about 1962.
He had a heart attack there, and they took him into Hastings, but that was it.
Yeah, and he walked across the street to the old fire hall there, and he collapsed there. And one of the people that started later teaching CPR for the state didn't know nothing about CPR. Well, he could have saved him, very likely. And they didn't know it at that time.
Yeah, I worked with Charlie at work, and so I went to the hospital, and he was gone before he got there. You know, there wasn't EMTs and stuff we have today. Would have been a lot. Probably might have made it, but you never know.
The fire department always had a booyah auction in May. It was always like the middle end of May. You know, that was the big deal. They'd cook booyah out back. They'd have the auction on Sunday, but then Friday and Saturday they'd be setting things up. And it was a Saturday afternoon. Everybody heard this plane go over, and it crashed at the end of Broadway.
Yeah, I seen it. There was about four of us looking down that way, and it kept spinning just round and round and down until she hit. Luckily, it never hit them gas tanks down there.
It was a brand new airplane. The guy that bought it was just learning to fly it too. And they had an instructor on board, so.
Once they took care of the bodies from the airplane, they took them up to the local funeral home here, and Kenny Cook, he was the mortician. He was actually on the fire department. And the funeral home caught fire that night.
Yeah.
I don't know what that deal was about, but.
St. Paul Park Fire Department was one of the best trained departments in the state.
I don't think you'd get a normal house fire ever be as hot as the fires that we use for training.
A normal house fire wouldn't blow itself off a foundation either.
The thing was, then when you went to mutual aid someplace else, they thought it was really bad, and we thought, oh, this is a piece of cake. It made a big difference, I thought, like being able to have all that training, and it's real training.
I mean, looking through the years, how much experience was gained down at that training grounds. We always trained harder, or tried to train harder in what any fire we were going to go into. Build your confidence up and go in. You know, okay, there's smoke showing, go in and put the fire out.
There have been a lot of good memories throughout the years.
No, it was a good life. I'm glad I did it. There's a lot lot of memories I still have that, you know, no one else has had the opportunity to do.
Had a lot of fun at it.
Yeah.
Met a lot of people, made a lot of friends.
I always thought it was the best fire department in Washington County because they had guys that would go into the houses and put out the fires. They weren't afraid to do it because they trained so much that it wasn't any big deal.
We probably had one of the cleanest ones, 2 stations around in trucks. Yeah. When we'd go to mutual aid and that, we'd look at them and they'd come to ours and they always were amazed how we could do it.
A lot of laugh, a few crying, but all in all, it was fun. I'm glad I did it. I mean, because just
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
the life experience that we had, and we always had something going on. Every weekend there was something going on.
Yeah.
And you know, you could have a good time come down cleaning the fire hall for peak's sakes because you know something was going to go on.
Today, St. Paul Park continues to be the best department in the state, and the department that other departments strive to be.